Hey everyone, this is me Rachit and welcome to yet another video. Few weeks back, I had crossed 75,000 followers on LinkedIn, and in the spirit of giving back, I announced a Q&A session to be hosted on my YouTube channel. And in this particular video, I'll be answering to all the questions that you had asked in that LinkedIn post. Rohan Rathore asked how to stay motivated while coding because as the complexity of concepts increases, we take more time solving it and sometimes end up doing nothing. So it demotivates me during the programming journey. So yeah, that's true. And I think it's true with anything. Like if you want to be a master of something, it will only come with perseverance and dedication. You have to do practice again and again. That's how you become a red coder if you're talking about competitive programming. But there are few tips that you can enjoy. Like, so understand the science behind it. You will only do a thing only if you are getting some results and you feel happy about it. When you will feel happy about it, only when you see some results, right? So the thing is over here to do practice consistently. Don't make a fool of yourself that you just have to complete 100 problems in 10 days. Instead, focus on the 20 topics that exist: dynamic programming. Then you have some advanced data structures like segment trees, Fenwick trees, graph algorithms, binary trees, PSTs, and all those things. So there are, like, I understand there are a lot of topics, but the thing is there are only finite amount of them, maybe max 30 or 20 topics that you have to study. And once you pick up a topic, understand what is the data structure, how is it being used, how would you code it on your own, and try to solve few problems on it. If you feel that you're comfortable with it, try to solve more problems which are a bit more difficult. In all competitive programming websites, now you have the sorting criteria based on difficulty, right? So whenever you are uncomfortable with some topic, just go and explore what is it, what is the concept, try to do it on your own, and try solving some easy, medium, and then hard problems slowly and slowly. So you have to do this, repeat this. It might take you few weeks or few months, maybe like 1 or 2 years. But if you do it this way, you will enjoy because you're learning things, and it's only a matter of time. Like let's like think about this way. Within 6 7 months, you will always see improvements in yourself because you are learning things. And I know that there are some working professionals which do not have that much of time. They feel like they are ready to pay money, but in return, they want an expert to explain them or unblock their doubts and help them progress faster. Which is another way. Like if you want to spend money on some products, there are a ton of them available right now. For example, algoexpert.io, it's a wonderful website dedicated for data structures, algorithms, system designs. Basically, if you are preparing for interviews, this is a very good product that you have. And the video explanations are really professional and good and crisp. They start with scratch, like how would you approach a problem, and then they also talk about the ideal solution, how they reach there, and what would be the time and space complexity of the code. So it's a good journey that you can enjoy. Like if you feel that you are unable to make progress on your own and you really need help, you can go to algoexpert.io/Rachit to check out the product, and you will also enjoy a 10% discount on your purchase. First of all, I'm saying that if you have time, please develop the skill that you can unblock yourself, because as a programmer, you will need this skill throughout your life. Like once you enter a job, you are stuck at something, you can't expect to pay someone and like help you over there. So it's a good skill that you have to develop. Having said that, if you feel that you're ready to pay the product and throw away that responsibility on a product which gives you professional content, that's also another choice that you have. Anurag Sharma asks, software engineering in India versus AI ML in India. Is India ready for the revolution of machine learning? So I don't think it's about India anymore. Like if you talk about any country, the number of jobs in ML would always be less than the number of jobs as compared to software engineers, right? So data science and all those things, they are really booming. It's good and it's a good skill that you have to evolve and learn. You should do that if you have interest in that. But software engineering, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Like even if you talk about machine learning, they ultimately need software engineering because at the end of the day you have to communicate with your customers. If you have a artificial neural network which is trained to do something, then you need 100 users, 100 clients which are using your app have to interact with it. How will they do that? So software engineering is a skill that you should always learn. If you feel like machine learning is a skill that you have to, like, you're really passionate about it, you can do that, but the number of jobs over there is less. So you need really good mastery. Maybe you also can pursue higher education to really prove your expertise in the area as well as get good jobs. But I feel that it's a safer and better choice to pick for software engineering. But again, if your passion is something else, you can always become an expert over there and get the jobs. Like then there will be no barriers. Like if you're really good at something, people who have jobs about ML, they will obviously reach out to you, or you can reach out to them and start your interview process like that. And just to elaborate on my point a little bit, like think about it. A lot of problems that you want to solve in today's world, they are mostly being solved by normal software engineering concepts. And when I'm saying normal, it's not actually that normal. Anything in computer science has a lot of complexity when it comes to scalability and all those things. So, like for example, let's talk about food ordering apps like Swiggy or Zomato. Like when you're ordering food, the most important thing that you want is you should be able to search all the restaurants which are nearby your area. You should be able to apply filters like only 4 star and above ratings, and maybe the budget ranges from this to this, and maybe something like vegetarian or non-vegetarian food, and you can search any dishes. So those are the things which are really important for you as a user. Like if I'm ordering food, these are the things I care about. Now if you're not able to do a good job over here, and then you are like, hey Rachit, you know we might not be able to show you all the restaurants, or we may not be able to give you a good delivery. Like you order food and you are getting it after 1 or 2 hours. So if you are not doing good over there, but if we are able to show you good restaurants that you should visit based on your past orders, then I don't want to use your app, because you're not solving your basic. Like you have only one aim: people are coming to your app to order food. Do that correctly, and for that you really do not need machine learning. So in most of the industries, I would say ML and all these things, they are adding a sugar layer on top of what they are doing, and they are giving a better experience to their customers. But do not forget that the prime responsibilities of most of the industries is not, like the core is not ML or AI. If you are a face recognition app, at that point of time the core app is ML or AI. But other than that, what I'm trying to say is the number of organizations which are having the core as ML or AI is really less, right? So that's the only thing that I'm trying to say. But if you are really passionate about it, like you should definitely explore that. All right. Tayaba Chaudhary asks, hello Rachit, I'm most of the time stuck procrastinating or thinking way too much over a solution. How to overcome this? So I think if you're talking about procrastination, everyone does that at some point of time. And the only thing which is going to change that is how proactive you are as a person. It's a lifestyle choice, I believe. And if you're really proactive as a person in your life, you will never be procrastinating a lot or permanently in your professional life as well. So it's a personal trait, I would say. And it's not always compulsory that you have to, always run. Like I have seen a lot of people, after some point of time they are happy about how much they have achieved in their career, and now their priorities have changed to family, and they're fine in climbing the ladder of promotion slowly, but they should be happy with how they are devoting their time in their life. So there are different choices, and I feel that you should always have your inner voice, like let your inner voice talk to you. If you're happy in your life, then it's fine, you really do not need any change. But if you feel that there is a necessity of, like you have some sense of dissatisfaction about your life or your achievements, then I think that is enough for you to stay motivated and dedicated and stay on the track. Like there is no cheat code for solving the problem of procrastination. But only one thing which I always know is that a lot of people, they want to get out of that zone in which they are really unproductive and wasting time, and they really want good things to happen in their life, but they already start questioning about their current present situation, that it's not good, and because of that their confidence goes down and they are never able to outshine or have those good things happen in their life. And the only response that I have for that is, even people who are really successful, or where you dream that I want to reach over here, so people who are already there, they're also doing the same damn thing. They are also climbing stairs, they are also working hard, and that's all you have to do. Like maybe someone is here and you are here, but this guy is also not stopping, right? They are also working hard to reach further high in their life. And there is never a point in which you are like, I have done a lot in my life and that's it. Like I will not do anything. Literally this does not happen. This is not growth mindset. In this way you will never be able to sustain in the existing competition. Like you always have to work hard, You have to pick on new technologies. Like think about the front end experts. Like now the way you write front end code has completely changed. React and all these frameworks like Vue.js, they have revolutionized the way you think, like the front end developers, how they write code. Everything has changed a lot. So you always have to, be consistent and learn and be a student throughout your life. Only then you can always stay successful. That's how I believe. Having said that, I want to just, give you the motivation that only when you will work hard you will get that sense of fulfillment in your life. I agree that you cannot over, like in 3 or 4 days you cannot change your future drastically, but even in those 3 to 4 days, if you are staying productive, disciplined, you have that sense of, like you feel good and you have that sense of satisfaction in your body that you are living your life correctly, and that will help you do things consistently, and eventually you will reach that step, you will reach your dream goal, and then your dream goals will expand and you can do that continuously. So I hope you got my point, and I know these are tough questions, but at the end of the day you have to stay hopeful, develop that sense of discipline in your life. So all the best. Hardik Awasthi asks, how can a fresher join Tower Research through an off-campus opportunity? And actually, my colleague Deepak Kumar Kaur, who works at Tower, has responded to that already. Now, a lot of questions come across high-frequency trading, like how do we approach them? How do we get a job over there? The thing is, guys, it's nothing special. For any job, every company is having their job listings on LinkedIn or on their careers portal website. For example, careers.google.com. So go to the careers page or LinkedIn jobs and figure out in your current location or whatever location you are interested in, are they having jobs? Because if they are not having jobs, there is no point in getting referrals as well. So the first point is have a look at the openings, and the second point is now take a referral on those jobs. Like even if you go to someone in your network and say that, hey, can you refer me? The person is a software developer in their organization. They also do not know about which openings exist in their, like everyone has a different responsibility, they are doing their own work. No one is, having that much visibility over how many jobs are there in a current company and whether you are a good fit for that. So you have to do it, make their lives easy. First search the jobs which are matching to your profession and career interest and you feel that you are a really good fit. Once you have done that, at that point of time I would encourage you to go and like knock at somebody's door from your network who is working at that organization for and ask them for a referral. So that's the only tip that I'm going to give, and this is going to work. Like think about this, every company wants the hiring process to be easier, and that's why they have the job listings on their portal. Other than that, you can also go to websites like Naukri.com and Big Shift. I have heard that they are also having a lot of job openings. So make sure that if you're not able to get a response from all these things, there are tons of companies and you should keep your options open. You should be like, if you really want a good job, you can also have startups giving you that experience as well. So don't just limit your like imagination just to 3 or 4 companies. I would say that if you're not able to get a response from your dream company, it's always good to also apply to other companies. And at that point of time, having a profile on Naukri.com and other like other websites which are meant for these purposes can really help you. All right, guys, in the next video, we will be answering more some interesting questions that you asked. So make sure to like this video and stay tuned. So guys, this channel has been extensively talking about data structures, algorithms, coding interviews, even sharing my own coding interview experiences with you guys. So if this is something which interests you or you're passionate about, make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and most importantly, hit the bell icon. It really means a lot. So that's pretty much about it, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Happy coding. Till then, bye bye.